Globe showing Asia-Australia prologue, midnight to 4 o'clock. The Pacific Ocean, 1942. 6 months had passed since Pearl Harbor. Japan's empire stretched further than ever before, from the jungles of Burma to the islands of the Philippines, from the coasts of China to the farthest corners of the Pacific. Everywhere the rising sun flag flew, people whispered the same thing: Japan is unstoppable. But deep inside America, the anger of Pearl Harbor still burned. Factories thundered, shipyards clanged, and millions of young men answered the call to arms. The question was no longer whether America would fight, but where the next great battle would decide the fate of the war. That place was Midway. Crossed swords Japan's master plan, 4 to 9 o'clock. Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto was a genius. He had crafted the Pearl Harbor strike that stunned the world. Now, he wanted to crush America once and for all. Yamamoto believed that America's spirit was weak, that one more blow would force them to surrender. His target, Midway Atoll, a tiny dot of land but a fortress in the heart of the Pacific. His plan was elegant and deadly. 4 carriers, Akagi, Kaga, Soryu, Hiryu, hundreds of aircraft, battleships waiting to ambush. He would lure the U.S. fleet into battle and destroy it in one decisive strike. What Yamamoto did not know, his secret plan was already known to the Americans. Detective the codebreakers triumph, 9 to 1500 hours. In a small, hot room in Pearl Harbor, American cryptographers worked endlessly. They had been intercepting Japanese codes for months. At first, the messages seemed impossible to crack, endless streams of numbers and strange symbols. But slowly, piece by piece, they solved the puzzle. Commander Joseph Rockefort and his team discovered that Japan's next target, codenamed AF, was actually Midway. To confirm, the Americans staged a clever trick. Midway sent a fake radio message about a water shortage. Hours later, Japanese codes reported, AF is short on water. The trap was revealed. Admiral Chester Nimitz now held the greatest advantage: knowledge. He knew when and where Japan would strike. It was time to gamble everything. Sunrise tension before battle, 15 to 2000 hours. The American fleet gathered quietly. 3 carriers, Enterprise, Hornet, and Yorktown. The Yorktown was badly damaged at Coral Sea, patched up in just 72 hours, barely seaworthy. But she would fight. Sailors wrote letters to their families, knowing many would not return. Pilots studied maps, memorizing coordinates. Every man knew this battle could change the war. Meanwhile, Japan's sailors were confident, laughing, singing songs of victory. They believed America's spirit was broken. They had no idea the Americans were waiting. Sunrise dawn of battle, 2000 hours, 27:00. June 4th, 1942. 4:30 nachts. The horizon glowed red with sunrise. From Japan's carriers, waves of aircraft lifted into the sky. They roared over Midway, unleashing bombs and bullets. The island shook as fuel tanks exploded, buildings shattered, and smoke darkened the skies. American pilots scrambled from Midway's tiny airstrip. Many had old, outdated planes, but they flew into battle anyway. Most were cut down by Japanese Zeros. Dozens never returned. At sea, American carriers launched their own strikes. Torpedo squadrons attacked bravely, charging head-on at Japanese carriers. But the slow, low-flying planes were slaughtered. Almost every torpedo bomber was destroyed. It seemed hopeless, but destiny was not finished. Fire the turning point, 27:00, 36:00. As Japanese crews refueled and rearmed their planes, their decks were covered in bombs, fuel hoses, and aircraft lined wing to wing. It was the most vulnerable moment a carrier could face. At that exact moment, American dive bombers appeared, almost by accident, guided by luck and courage. They dove steeply from the clouds, engines screaming. The ocean below turned into chaos. Akagi, one bomb tore through her deck, igniting fuel tanks. Flames engulfed the flagship. Kaga, hit by multiple bombs, exploding like a volcano, men leaping into the sea. Soryu, struck and burning, her crew desperately trying to abandon ship. In just 5 minutes, 3 Japanese carriers were doomed. Only Hiryu remained. High-voltage Hiryu's counterattack, 36:00, 40:00. The surviving carrier, Hiryu, launched counterstrikes with fury. Her pilots found the USS Yorktown. They struck hard, bombs smashed into the deck, torpedoes ripped holes in her side. Yorktown shuddered, fires blazing. Her crew fought desperately to save her, spraying water, carrying wounded men, refusing to give up. But Hiryu's triumph was short-lived. American dive bombers found her too. Explosions rocked the ship. By sunset, Hiryu burned, her sailors abandoning her to the waves. 4 Japanese carriers, the heart of their navy gone. Drop of blood, human cost, 40:00, 43:00. More than 3,000 Japanese sailors and airmen perished. Entire squadrons of Japan's best pilots were lost. For America, 300 lives were sacrificed. Men who flew into hopeless missions, sailors who never came home. Each number was a son, a brother, a father. The ocean became their grave. Globe showing Europe-Africa aftermath, 43:00, 45:00. The Battle of Midway was more than a victory. It was the turning point of World War II in the Pacific. Japan's dream of dominance ended that day. Their best carriers and pilots were gone forever. From then on, Japan could only defend, never attack. For America, it was a rebirth. From the ashes of Pearl Harbor rose the power that would push across the Pacific, island by island, until Tokyo itself was in reach. Crystal Ball conclusion, 45:00, end. This was the Battle of Midway, the moment the tide turned, the day the rising sun began to set, and the day America's destiny as a superpower was written in fire and blood.